Tinfoil hat. Tinfoil hat.
Hey man, where's the truth there, dog?
Tinfoil hat.
Oh, what the fuck are you guys even talking about?
Are you ready to get your mind blown?
Revolution will be podcasted.
Yeah! Welcome to the Tinfoil Hat Podcast. It is time for another very special episode of the Royal Rumble 3. But before I welcome everybody, I want to get into some dates. We have some great dates coming up, everybody. Obviously, tomorrow is Comedy Chaos live at the Comedy Store. We got Felipe Esparza, Bert Kreischer, Godfrey, Theo Vaughn, Whitney Cummings, and some very special guests popping in at the end. Come down. Tickets are only $20. And they're moving quick. October 3rd, it is Sam Tripoli, evening of Sam Tripoli and his weirdo friends live at the Brea Improv. Kate Quigley, George Perez, Corey and Chad, and Mike Tully. Go to brea.improv.com. Grab those tickets now. It is going to be a wonderful night. And then the Tinfoil Hat Comedy Night is back in full effect, everybody. We are going to be October 12th at the Philadelphia Punchline. That's right, punchlinephilly.com. Grab those tickets. Those tickets are already moving very quickly. We're super excited about that. We are coming home to the birthplace of freedom. So come get those tickets. Eddie Bravo, myself, and who knows who's going to pop up. And then finally, October 14th, we will be live at the Syracuse Funny Bone. Myself, Eddie Bravo, my mother will be there. You want to meet the mother of Tinfoil Hat? Come meet Rebecca Bedorian live at the Funny Bone. Those tickets coming. That's a Sunday at 7 p.m. show. So that's it. Very excited about here. We're supposed to have everybody here, but the only guys that have shown up to the fight. This is like when the gangs get together and like 3 of the gangs don't show up, 2 gangs show up. So we got to decide whether we're still have a gang fight or not. They're one of my favorite podcasts out there. They are holding it down. They are from the North. They're Grimerica show. Please welcome Darren Grimes and Graham Dunlop. How's that? Boom. Did I get that right? Bam.
You betcha. Hey, buddy. Thanks for having us on again, and thanks for the Swapcast.
Fucking nailed it.
Yeah, right? Well, we're excited. We're supposed to have our friends from the Conspiracy Farm. We don't know where they are.
I think they'll be here soon.
No, are you guys ready? They're making coffee. The show started. The show has started. What's going on with you guys, man?
Oh, man, we just had to move out of our old studio, and we found a temporary one. Our producer, Brody, helped us out. We moved into his studio temporarily till we find a separate place. But other than that, it's going pretty good. We're busy. Lots of shows, lots of good stuff. I see I've been following you, listening to your show, and you're on top of everything, too. That latest one, the Cockapalooza, was pretty hilarious.
Oh, thank you.
And very informative as well.
I thought I bit off more than I could chew, obviously.
No, not at all.
Oh, thank you, dude. You know, I'm going to be honest with you. You guys kind of talked about it today. You know, the show's through transitions right now, not by my choice. I know everybody's heard it. I've been a piñata this whole week. There he is. Are you there? Is he there? Or is
What's
he
up, brother?
Can we see you guys?
Can we hold on? Let me get the.
All right, I just want to at least hear you guys, at least so you can join us. And as you're doing that, I'm explaining what's going on. Once the picture comes up, I'll introduce you guys. I'm the piñata this week, but you know what? Daddy can take it. Bring it to Daddy. Let Daddy, tee off on Dad, but Dad's still here, okay? Are you guys still here? That's the question. There you guys are. This is chaos. Yes! Yes. Okay, we got Little down there. This is good enough, dude. If everybody's here.
We're just waiting on Pat, man. Sorry. Can you hear us pretty good?
Yeah, I can hear you, Jeffrey. You're great. Please welcome returning champions of Royal Rumble. They're back to defend their belt. And they're bringing children, okay? Please welcome Conspiracy Farm, Jeffrey Wilson, and we're waiting on everybody's favorite Freemason, Pat Militech. All right. So are kids joining you? Are the kids joining, Jeffrey?
I'm at Casa de Militant, so we're just tightening up all the loose ends here.
Okay. All right. So let me finish this story before this becomes crazy. I'm talking to people to join the show. I'm talking to get somebody who run the computer and all that stuff and upload and get all that stuff going. So just know that we're working hard on it. And that's
baby.
Hey.
Baby.
Pat's over there antagonizing his young gunner.
Okay. So how long till he can pop up?
He's coming right now, man. He's coming right now.
All right, we're starting.
I think.
See you later, Amelia. Love you. Have a good swim lesson.
Jesus Christ.
Have a good
Pat.
swimming lesson, Amelia.
I think someone is
What?
someone is sharing their screen right now. It's really fucking me.
Ladies and gentlemen, UFC Hall of Famer Pat Miller.
Yo, what's up, gentlemen?
Okay, welcome to Royal Rumble 3. This is going to be chaos. You got the Grimerica guys are here. The Conspiracy Farm guys are here as well. We got a weird split screen.
Yeah, somebody's sharing their screen.
Who's
I don't
sharing
even
the
have a
screen?
Mac, so I don't know how this is happening.
I might have done that. How do I undo that, dude? I'm using Pat's stuff here.
All right.
Don't show us all your tranny porn on there.
Well, what's that one program? I've never seen that.
Welcome
I
to
just hit
town.
stop. I just hit stop sharing. Did that do anything?
Yeah, I don't know. You're fine. You're fine. You're fine. You're fine. We're gonna have to edit all this out, but it's fine.
I don't edit.
I don't edit either, but there we go. That's perfect. That's perfect. Can we leave it at that?
Yes.
That is
Perfect.
perfect. Don't touch anything. Don't touch anything. We're good. All right. Welcome back to the Royal Rumble 3. It's we're ready to rock. Super excited, and everybody's here. What a great time to be a conspiracy theorist. I want to start off, guys, with I was listening to one of my favorite podcasts, the Higher Side Chats, with all of our friends.
Yeah, Greg Carlwood.
Greg Carlwood, okay, and he was talking to Gordon White about how he is kind of a little iffy on conspiracies right now. He doesn't know what's real, what's not. There's a bunch of people arguing flat Earth. There's a bunch of people arguing dinosaurs didn't exist. And then I started realizing that he's probably talking about my podcast and what we've been talking about. So I'm a little nervous about that. But with that said, I want to go across the board, and we'll start with Conspiracy Farm guys. What is your guys' take on what's going on in the conspiracy world right now?
Go ahead, Grammy.
Am I going first?
I thought you said the farm.
Yeah, the farm. You guys go first.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean, we've talked about this before, Sam. I mean, it's like you always say, it's what is that? It's a great time to be alive, man. And the information, always discernment is absolutely key. In my opinion, this whole kind of genre has been taken over not taken over, but infiltrated definitely. And so it's really kind of hard to tell, who's a really part of the movement and who's kind of here for, dissension amongst the ranks. But yeah, like you said, we have such a powerful platform, us getting together like this, a collection of the tribes, if you will, like Sam, you call it. We've got a lot of information to kind of, throw around, and it is a crazy time to really be a part of this movement. But again, like I said, we definitely got to be sure the information that we're getting is legit, dude. Because
the misinformation hacks,
Yeah,
the CIA and other intel groups have released their goons into our community, and they seem real legit for quite a while, and then all of a sudden they go off the deep end and tell you that there was no planes hitting the World Trade Center, or it was
The moon's a hologram.
yeah.
yeah, like
Space is fake.
It was such a powerful thing we have here, and we do have to be careful when we start entertaining these. Australia doesn't exist. Dinosaurs never existed. The Earth is flat. Like, it really just delegitimizes all the legit shit that we are really talking about. 'Cause we are at a precipice at a very crazy time right now.
For sure. Hey, okay, Grimes, what do you think? What's your thoughts on that?
I think Gordon White's CIA and he infiltrated THC. But I'm just kidding. We'll roll that back. I think it's, Greg's getting up there, right? He's getting up to that 100,000 listener threshold. And that's kind of where I think you start to get tapped on the shoulder and you get said, you got a real nice thing going here, Greg. And we're going to drop a couple of lines here and you're going to stay in between them and everybody's going to have a good time.
Oh, I can't wait.
You always wonder at what point that comes in, because it definitely happened to Rogan. I think everyone here would agree on that.
I can't necessarily agree. It's Yeah, it's interesting though. It's possible because you're hearing individuals on his show like Duncan Trussell saying, "Hey man, be careful," et cetera, et cetera. I don't. We got young Bentley in here barking. It's hard to say if he's been approached or not, or he's just got a really super popular podcast. And I get what you're saying though, but do we know definitively that Joe Rogan's been approached by the government?
Well, here's what I'll say about that. Here's my opinion on that. I get asked that all the time. That show is so big, right? If he just came out there and just said, Eddie Bravo and I were talking about, if he just came out and said, hey, man, Michelle Obama's got a giant black dick, the internet would melt. The internet would fucking melt, man. And it's just like with great power comes great responsibility. And I'm not saying that he needs to do this or that, but I also talked to Rogan. And listen, guys, as a guy who talks to him probably weekly, he believes a lot of stuff you hear him saying. It's not just on the podcast that he's saying a lot of that stuff. He is saying it when he's in public, too. I mean, so it could be that there was an approachment. I just think that he's gotten so big to a certain place, and over time, people change their attitudes. That's just my opinion.
I think that you're completely fucking wrong. Here's why.
Okay. I'm fine with it.
If thinking the way he was thinking, which is similar to the way we think, got him to as big as he was, he wouldn't quit thinking that way.
I can understand what you're saying, but when
What made him think differently, Sam?
And if you follow the evidence, it's not going to take you to where Rogan is right now. It's going to take you the opposite way.
Which is what?
Which is where we're at. I mean, I think you guys and Sam and us, I don't think we're hitting all those, extremes and giving the platform necessarily for all those extremes. But we're talking about a lot of rational things. You guys had that health show on recently with the chemical-free body and all that type of stuff. Like, there's a lot of things people should be paying attention to instead of flat Earth and whether dinosaurs exist. It's whether they should be geoengineering the planet and the vaccine issues and all those issues that are really, really affecting the health and the well-being of all of us.
The fucking carbon tax I'm paying.
The flat Earth movement was started by skateboarders.
What?
I actually wouldn't doubt that, but I still get. The thing is about the flat Earth is I was getting emails this weekend because we're in the middle of our push for supporters because we had to move out and we're staying in this place. But I got like 3 emails this weekend from people saying they don't support the show because we don't talk about the flat Earth enough.
I get that a lot,
and that's within our own audience, who I think are reasonable people.
You get heat from that too, Sam?
Oh yeah, all the time, dude. All the time. If I don't do a flat Earth episode, they go nuts on me. I get, regardless of where you fall on that issue, our viewership is going to go nuts either way. If you say the Earth is flat, they're going to go, right, you're an idiot. If you say the Earth is round, the flat Earth people are going to light you up. So
it's like talking about Trump.
All their last names are Brown. They're related to your governor.
Yeah, well, yeah. I love it. Yeah, I get it, dude. I'm not a big Jerry Brown thing. You see people leaving California in droves, dude, in droves. And the traffic still sucks. It still sucks.
But per how you started this question, Sam, it's weird because this whole conspiracy movement or whatever you want to call it, it's so freaking weird to me how much traction a flat Earth movement legitimately has. There is a lot of people who believe that shit. Or holograms and the 9/11, et cetera. It's like, man, this conspiracy thing becomes a very slippery slope. I had someone, whatever. You start entertaining some of the wildest fucking theories, and somewhere in there is the truth. But it's just interesting some of the wild shit that takes hold.
Yeah, well, what amazes me is how professional the misinformation looks. The great example was that shooting in Parkland where they had the kid went to school out here or was still going to school or had graduated. And he lived out here for a while. I don't know if he necessarily graduated, but that whole campaign to be like, he didn't even go to school there was so professionally done that it makes me think it was all part of that propaganda bill that was passed by the government that says the U.S. government can use propaganda.
Look at all of these stories that we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to maybe bring up the observatory.
Yeah.
The Las Vegas shooting, immediately it was an Al Qaeda, it was arms deal. Like with the observatory, it was aliens. It was the Chinese had co-opted it. There was some
meteor
there. Like it was within a day or two, multiple different stories got floated and just got ran with.
So my question to you guys is, and what have you noticed about all these stories? What does Sandy Hook, what is Vegas, and what does this observatory all have in common? There was a bad guy and there was pornography, kitty porn involved. Did you notice that? Someone got involved, and then that Stephen Paddock's brother got accused of kitty porn, and then he just got let go because there was no evidence of it.
Another person in that mix, the guy who won that lawsuit on 3D printing guns against the Pentagon, just got charged with some weird
pedophile stuff,
underage stuff. Yeah, I mean that's the scarlet letter anymore.
And he warned it was coming.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, that's what they're gonna say. That's the new thing. Yet they seem to not want you to know who really has the kitty porn, right? That's like the crazy thing. Now, the thing with today is like AJ Ben, what's his name? The guy who does AJ Benz went on. Went on Adam Carolla and said that Les Moonves is allegedly was hooking up with underage people, kids. I mean, is this the beginning of the pedogate finally coming out, do you guys think?
I mean, again, a slippery slope, man. Look at what's happening. And again, this isn't a referendum on Trump or Kavanaugh. This is a referendum on fucking due process. Look at how many fucking people's careers have been buried just off of accusations. No due process, no day in court. It's just automatically accept your accuser's word. And I'm not belittling or diminishing any woman who's been sexually assaulted and what, their claims are. It's just a matter of like, whoa, we have to start pumping the brakes, man. Careers are being lost. Reputations are being ruined.
Yeah, these accusations, the 4 witnesses that she named all did not corroborate her story. The party never happened, and there has to be an FBI investigation. And once that starts falling apart, everybody called it. They go, they're going to come with more people accusing him of the same shit. And now a lady saying in Yale, he exposed his penis to her face.
Yeah.
And,
that's social media, though, isn't it? I mean, that was the Unabomber Manifesto kind of spells it all out. No one likes to talk about it, but he kind of predicted right where we are right now, and it's that we don't need to take due process anymore because there is no due process on fucking mass hysteria. So I don't need to get the cops or the courts involved when I can just convince a bunch of people on my platform that fucking Sam Tripoli's a Nazi.
What? How'd you know? So here's my biggest thing that, I've become this like lone wolf in Hollywood. I'm a lone wolf that secretly everybody thanks all the time for doing what I'm doing. It's very amazing. But the one thing is that a couple things with the Me Too movement is I just did a political show with my friend Ben Glebe, and I did a show. And what I heard over and over again, they put me on the right, even though I'm on neither side. I was the guy who represented the right. And they basically were like, we need to believe all women. We need to believe all victims. And then in the next breath, they would mock pedogate, like, oh, kids getting fucked in a pizzeria. And it's like, oh, so you don't know why people don't believe some victims, why you openly mock other victims, right? It's just
because it's not trendy. Like I was saying to you earlier, Sam, it's so people are so selectively butthurt and so intellectually dishonest. They won't really dig and really get pissed off about the large swath of shit that's going on in this fucking country and this planet. They have to be told what to be pissed off at. And that's what's so horseshit, man. It's like, again, lives are being ruined. I mean,
lives are being ruined. Kids are being killed. Kids are being killed.
Absolutely. And yet this is some of these people who are just in their emotions and in their feel so hardcore are really expected to be taken seriously when they were fucking silent and voted 2 terms to put Obama in. How many bodies is that fucker buried overseas? You know what I mean? And yet here we are talking about, I get it. Let's have the conversation, but
why aren't we hanging the bishops and the Pope when they protected at least 8,000 pedophile priests, one of whom raped my oldest brothers who both committed suicide.
I'm sorry, man.
No, but the point that I'm making is the destruction of thousands upon hundreds of thousands of families, probably all over the world, and 8,000 priests is a minimum. It's probably double that of men who are running rampant homosexual pedophiles. That's just what they are. They're attracted to little boys, raping little boys all over the world and destroying these kids' lives and the families' lives. But people are bitching and complaining about all this, safe spaces and all this other garbage. It's just, I want to slap everyone across the face as hard as I can and say, wake up, you moron.
And let the Pope announce that he's going to speak tomorrow in whatever that square is over in Rome. He'll fucking pack them in like a NASCAR race, dude. Hundreds of thousands they'll pay to freak, or don't even pay, but they'll come show up for this horse.
Grimerica, thoughts?
Think how much fucking money that Catholic Church is taking in every single day in donations around the planet. But let's boycott fucking Nike. Don't say anything about the Catholic Church. Boycott Nike.
Yeah.
To go back to some of Bill Burr's original comedy, dude, name me an organization that could have this much shit PR for, centuries and then still be open for business.
The media?
It's just it's a reality like we talk about all the time on the
Israel?
show. Yeah.
The mainstream media? I mean, how many times do they have to get caught in the lie and they're still going strong?
Yeah, and they don't even get, it's really unbelievable. And like the argument I had with these people who were on the left was about how like the problem everybody has with you is like you act like evil started a year and a half ago. And like everything that you're complaining about with Trump literally happened under Obama and Bush and Clinton. So it's like you only get mad when it happens to the guy you don't like, and the only reason you know about it is because the media tells you that. They didn't tell you Obama was doing all this crazy shit, and then they got mad at me because I called him Chocolate Jesus, and I'm like, the reason I said that is because he walks on water with you people, And my biggest problem with this is that these women who are pushing this narrative, creating a ultra sensitive environment, are going to have sons. They're not all just going to have daughters. They're going to have sons. And those sons are going to grow up and become teenage boys and college boys. And they're setting up a place where any girl can accuse them of anything and it's automatically wrong. And no matter what age they did it, whether when they were a minor or in college, it's going to come back.
Did you just assume that they're going to grow up boys?
Yeah, okay, that's true.
You go to jail for that in Canada.
Oh,
that's as bad as Holocaust denial. By the way, Trudeau, buddy.
Fucking two-term Trudeau.
Oh my God.
Oh, you poor bastards. Hey, no. Well, what we're talking about here is people losing their minds and being complete. So I post on Twitter a picture of a bunch of vegetables I pulled out of my garden, right? It's a great picture. And a guy goes, everyone should alpha like me and Pat, saying basically grow your own food. And this Philly Chimp 316 on Twitter, Philly Chimp 316, blow his ass up on Twitter, goes, JJ, block this man right now. He's a Freemason sicko. And then I put an emoji out with my rolling eyes, like, yeah, boy, here we go. He goes, and then he quotes John 14:6. I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me, Jesus. And so, look, I'm already satanic simply because I'm a Freemason and I was the master of my lodge. But,
man.
Whoa.
There we go. There we go.
The Grimerica guys are pulling the plug on the show right now.
We've been called filthy Masonic scum more than once.
I've been called.
We're not even Masons.
I've said that to
I'd high five you right now if I could.
We're all shills, Pat's a Masonic shill. I'm a shill. Nobody fucking knows who I am. Sam, you're a shill.
I'm a gay Jew shill. That's how I am. I'm not even Jewish or gay, but I'm a gay Jew shill.
We're so shilly we can't even afford an office space.
Yeah. It's so chilly out there. So let's get into some stuff, guys. Basically, I just wanted to finish the point I was making real quick is that you're going to set it up for these kids. They're going to grow up, and your sons who decide to stay as sons grow into these work environments. You're setting them up for failure. You're setting it up so anybody crazy, it's going to come back around like it always does. So you get behind these people and these leaders of these Me Too movements, and we find out they're all scumbags. And it's not that the movement's necessarily wrong. It gets hijacked by people with alternative,
It's just like, the Trump election, all that shit. They weaponized the DOJ. They weaponized the fucking media. And now here they are with this new scarlet letter weaponizing sexual assault and rape, which is just absolutely fucking deplorable, dude. And this really minimizes and makes it a lot harder for people who are legitimately coming forward to make these claims, because now you have people just throwing it out there to just ruin careers, and it's all politicized. When, you know, actually there's legit fucking, like you said, Sam, kids are being trafficked and eaten and organ harvested all over the world, but the fucking mainstream media is crickets about that.
Yeah, I mean,
and
go on. Sorry, bud.
No, and now with the censorship, you got to, you know, now they can just shut any of us down if we want to talk about that stuff. I mean, they can literally deplatform us. And you can go on to, you can create a fake profile and go on to Reddit and be a shill in there, and they can shut the whole Reddit thread down because of a couple disinformation agents in there. I mean, that, you know, look who's shutting the Reddit down now.
And what do you guys think of the Trump basically getting the DOJ to investigate social media and tech companies for basically having a monopoly?
Well, they're utilities. They've become utilities, basically, essentially. So, you know, they can't shut off the electricity to your house or your computer. They can't shut off your computer because they don't like the emails you're writing, right? So
right.
They can't do the same thing. Based on them not liking what I say on the internet, they can't just ban me. It's because they're a utility. They've become utilities.
So wait, is that a thing? Trump's looking at doing the Teddy Roosevelt thing?
Yep. They just announced he's putting session, I think, on it to investigate whether they're going to. So do you think that makes it better? Do you think that gets rid of it, or do you think that makes it worse? Does that turn the internet into fucking CBS and TBS and all that shit, or does it lay the playing field off so that they can't, you know, shut off Alex Jones anymore?
They can't shut off Alex Jones is what I think, you know, obviously.
Or the conspiracy farm, or Grimerica, or tinfoil hat.
Right.
They could just write me a check.
Yeah, I mean, the problem with these people that are censoring is they don't realize that it is going to come back around, and all of a sudden they won't be able to criticize their government. I mean, as soon as that shifts over, I mean,
when Ted Cruz owns the new YouTube and he's kicking off all the lefties, it's going to be a different fucking story.
The larger ramifications, gentlemen. I mean, not a huge Alex Jones fan, but when you start deplatformizing, or what if that's a word, Alex Jones, it just vindicates what he's already said. Like, the deep state's against me, and shows like ours, all these shows like these, it just, as they deplatformize, if that is a word, if they deplatform us or whatever, then it just vindicates and it just draws more people to what we're already saying. For me on the show here, the conspiracy farm, I get that the term conspiracy has a certain connotation, but I mean, dude, we've had on so many individuals from Navy SEALs, Spetsnaz, former deputy director of counterintelligence for the FBI, that has only just vindicated so much of the shit we've already talked about. So it's not about us scaring people away with things like tinfoil hat or conspiracy farm type podcasts, because they're coming to us for information.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes.
Heard everything you said.
Are we too loud?
No. Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, you guys are a little loud. I'm just worried about in audio later.
Just my big fucking mouth. We don't even have our mic plugged in. We're just using the mic on the old.
Well, but the thing is, if you sit back and think, you know, does anybody here remember MySpace? I'm sure we all do.
Tom.
Why did MySpace die out and Facebook took off and Twitter took off and Instagram took off? Which ones were given the green light by the intel community?
No, that's a great point.
MySpace. Back in the day, MySpace would not agree to the terms that the intel community wanted, and that was to be able to spy on us. MySpace said no, and they got friggin' destroyed. And Facebook agreed to it. The little bastard out of the East Coast agreed to it. And, you know, so that's what's going on.
No, I agree totally. I thought it was the Asian chicks made their profiles too fucking loud, but I guess that's probably more it. Like
Asian chicks. I like it.
Every time you put on a Filipino chick, you got a giant song your girlfriend ran in. Are you looking at hot chicks on MySpace? You're trying to turn it off real quick. Do you guys have something to say, Grimerica?
I don't remember. I never got into MySpace.
At all?
I wasn't there yet. No, I missed all that.
Wasn't my goddamn point.
Yeah. So I want to get into an amazing day today. If you're into conspiracies, Q Anonymous has called this. Rosenstein had stepped down, then he's going to stay on, but he was stepping down. Q had predicted this. I know Pat and I are more the Q people. Grimerica, I don't know what your guys' take on Q is so much, but Pat and I have always kind of been like, the information's real. I personally think he's military intelligence, and that's just my take on it. What's your guys' thoughts on that whole thing?
I was deep in, and then I was out, and then I was deep in again, and then I was out. And then I was getting deep in again, and I was just like, you know what? I don't have time for this shit. So then I just cut everything, and I fucking turned off everything for like 3 months, and I'm just sort of tiptoeing back in now. So I'm like, you know, it's like you just dropped me off here, and I've missed the last 3 months of politics.
Oh, dude, it's a wonderful time to be around. But Pat, what's your thoughts?
Hey, look, man, he's been on, and I have never left Q's side.
Look at you. You're a ride or die, bitch.
No, he is. He is. I respect that.
Look, I'm going to at least keep tabs on everything, and unless something comes to an absolute dead end street, right? Q has certainly not been a dead end street. Many things have been correct. So I see no reason not to at least follow up on some of his leads.
For me, it's like an old fucking 50s serial. Like, tune in next week for the conclusion of Superman versus the Mole Man. And it just draws on and on. Because, like, I'm sorry, whoever, I forget, I didn't see who was saying it, but I've been on and then I've been off. I'm kind of moving back to on now. I mean, Sam, you know, I call it hope porn. This is kind of just a weird psyop, I think, that got going. But part of me, when I see shit happening, like recently, and hopefully we're going to talk about Rosenstein possibly resigning or being fired for talking about wiretapping Trump, and then we do need to talk about this. Trump saying he was going to declassify the FISA document, now he's not going to. Like, is this all part of the work, or like whose side is he on? Why is he not?
Q said he was going to declassify it, and it made it to Trump's desk via Sessions' hand.
Foreign policy, why are our U.S. Marines still fucking training Syrian rebels, and we know who that really is.
Free Syrian rebels.
Well, why is that happening? We know who that is. We know that's ISIS. You know what I mean? If there's supposed to be this big departure of foreign policy and training these fucking terrorists, why is that kind of shit still happening? Why are we still funding the white helmets?
Let me just...
Yeah, I had pretty well given up on that, but now I'm back in almost when you start talking about the monopoly busting. Because I think that's something that needs to happen, is some monopoly busting across the board.
But, okay, you guys are libertarians. Doesn't that kind of fall into that kind of gray area where it's like you don't want big business, but then you do want you want somebody to be able to stand up to these giant corporations?
That's right.
I think it comes down to, you know, who you piss off, which side of the line, and who has power at the time, right?
Yeah, well, I'm a libertarian, but I still think, you know, my buddy Dave Matheson has talked me into thinking that a lot of socialist things aren't too bad. Like, you know, we can socialize roads, we can probably socialize power, we can socialize the internet, we can socialize these different things that we can all sort of agree that fucking people shouldn't be making money off. People shouldn't be making money off the fact that I need fucking water to drink or heat in the winter. That should be a non-fucking issue. So all those things that we need, we shouldn't have to pay for it. Make it part of the taxes.
Yeah, but still somebody's paying for it. So that's the thing. I would say this, you know, along the lines of a Tesla giving every household free power for whenever they need it and how much they need it. That's true. That's the spirit that you want to be thinking in, right? Is that people are able to create their own power.
No, I'm with you on that. I mean, it would be fun to be able to everybody to create their own power, but I don't know if that's necessarily possible. I don't think everybody's built to create their own power, but there are things...
but we're supposed to own the government.
Right.
Is what's supposed to happen. It's not supposed to be this corrupt fucking entity. We're supposed to own the government.
I agree with you.
So if we can get back to the point that we have a government that is a fucking a government of our peers, then I have no trouble with us owning the fucking oil companies so that they're not making billions and billions and billions. It's just our oil. It's our oil. Our taxes pay for it, so we get it.
Of the people, for the people, by the people.
Just keep in mind that somehow, you know, because the government owns something, it's suddenly going to become, you know, this benevolent entity. It's not that. It comes down to human the human tendency.
Well, that's the problem. Is humans are shitty.
Whether it's an oil company executive or the president of a nation. I mean, look at Venezuela right now, dude. People are eating their neighbors' pets because they already ate their own. And that was the nation that took over the oil industries and took over farming and took over everything else, and they completely destroyed a nation. Look, there is, no matter what you do, we are in America and certainly in Canada, we have socialist stuff going on. Obviously, there's a lot of it. I don't believe in any of it. I don't believe in any of it going on. Look, this is the reason the world is becoming overpopulated, because babies that would not normally be fed are being fed, and they're having more because they're getting more money for having more babies. This is the kind of irresponsibility from the word go. That's the seed. And then everything else is, wait, I'm here for free, man. I'm here for free. I don't believe in socialism at all.
Yeah, but to me, there's a difference between giving people money for having kids and owning the fucking power line so that some guy's not making money off it.
Because it all is into the same umbrella, dude.
Well, let me just say this, Pat. There are instances of socialism that the right is very much into. The military is very much socialist.
Absolutely.
The police department.
I'm against it. The only tax that should be taken from the United States by the Constitution is a tax for our military. That's the only one. That's it. Just protect us from getting our asses kicked. And besides that, let us do what we want.
Okay, I can understand. I think if we pulled back our military, took it from the offense that it is and back to a defense, that'd be interesting. I would, free healthcare, stuff like that. I am interested in those things. I am interested in a regulation of Wall Street where, you can't have Goldman Sachs setting up a real estate portfolio knowing it's going to fail, telling their investors to invest in it while taking out insurance on it. That, to me, is completely wrong. Nobody there goes to no,
you're correct. I don't believe in the stock market, to be honest with you.
Okay, I respect that. But what do you think's going?
Sam, heard what you just said, and that goes back to that 2008 fucking financial decimation collapse. Who went to fucking jail for that? We're bailing out the fucking auto industry. You know what I mean? Bear Stearns, Morgan, or whatever all those players were. Who went to fucking jail?
You guys are bailing out half the planet. You guys are great.
Exactly.
You guys are great. Yeah, we do.
Bailouts or whatever they are, those golden parachutes, and nobody goes to fucking jail while the plebs, us, get fleeced.
No, I'm with you. I think the biggest thing that's going on is that the international bankers have used the U.S. government to set up a world economy that is dependent on the U.S. market, and therefore they can slowly manipulate everybody. And they get the rest of the world hooked on our nipples, just fucking breastfeeding off the U.S. government, and it's all done on purpose to get everybody under our control. And I am against that. Part of me was thinking that Trump was going to do that. I want to go back to something Jeffrey said earlier about, all these things that Trump promised, blah, blah, blah. For me, dude, the corruption is so deep, dude. It's so deep. And I'm not here to tell you Trump's a good guy or a white hat. I think this war between him and the deep state, the Clintons, Obamas, and all them is real. But the corruption is at every fucking level. I mean, if you look at the Debbie Wasserman Schultz and her brother, the Wan brothers case, that's a sign of all the corruption that's going on. The judge in the New Mexico Muslim compound who lets them off, even though there's a dead body of the guy's son on the property, lets him go. No bail, no charges. Like, that's the type of corruption that's up, and I think it takes time, man. I think it's got to move slowly. I know it's not moving fast enough for you, Jeffrey, but whoever is working against it is working against complete and utter rot, and it's going to take time.
And you need the fourth estate to do it. With your fucking mainstream media completely co-opted, then the plebs have no idea what's going on. It's like everyone knows that every fucking member in Congress and everyone in the Senate is fucking highly corrupt. But who cares? Nobody gives a flying fuck.
for me, when he goes back to the root for my whole thing, when I started getting woke, dude, for the president of the United States to get his head blown off in broad daylight, sitting right next to his wife, and 50, almost 60 years later, a majority of the population in the official narrative is still this guy with his shitty Italian rifle did the 3-shot. I mean, I'm not saying we're doomed, but we need shows like this, dude. But then again, going back to when Trump released the documents on JFK, some of them said he was shot from the front. Nobody gave a fuck, dude.
News, the mainstream media, I was sitting there listening. I had read through a ton of those documents, and it talked about, it confirmed the tracheotomy in the front of the neck was to disguise and hide an entrance wound from one of the rounds from a rifle. And it said that clear as day. And then I watched the mainstream media, and they go, there was really nothing earth-shattering about those documents that came out. I go, are you fucking high? They're selling that to the American people. Now, you guys, obviously, this is what we do. A big portion of our lives are exploring and researching this stuff. We know, we're infuriated, but most of the people around us have no clue. They just would have listened to that. You could have filled that room, that living room, my living room, with 30 other adults and me in the middle, and had us all watch that exact newscast, and 39 of the people in that room, minus me, would have even blinked. I would have been the one that stood up in the middle and went, did you morons fucking hear that?
No.
That's
why I think.
Go on, sorry.
That's why I think it's important for our shows like this to start coming together more and start, they've got their fucking network of corruption. We need to start getting our networking together and getting our audiences together and them talking to each other and being like, hey, man, enough is enough.
Conversation about how I absolutely agree. And Sam, we've talked about getting all the tribes together, the conspiracy guys, Grimerica, you know what I mean, Carlwood. We need to
do a Las Vegas conference.
Absolutely.
A huge conference down in Las Vegas, right?
But within this movement, we have to be careful. I love getting people on to just talk, even though if I don't necessarily agree with everything. But I don't want to go freaking necessarily, and this is not a knock to George Noyer Coast to Coast, but he entertains every damn thing. And it winds up really kind of, not that he's a conspiracy guy, but whatever, he has his own lane. My point is, we need to be careful who we have on, who we allow to occupy our space and our whatever you want to call it, our audience, etc., to spread nonsense. Because at the end of the day, a lot of people are looking to us for what's going on. If, we're, again, no disrespect to my homeboy Eddie Bravo or anybody who's on that flat earth, the more we entertain that.
Watch yourself. Watch yourself.
I know, I love my dude. Eddie, I love you, man. But the more we entertain, Australia doesn't exist. There were no dinosaurs. Things that can be so fucking easily proven. And whatever.
No, but not only that, they don't matter really. They don't matter to us like vaccines or what Monsanto and what Big Pharma and what geoengineering's doing. Like those are the things that matter right now.
No, I'm with you, and that's why listen, man. I'm a little different than everybody. I always get hip about flat earth and all that stuff, and I tell people it doesn't matter to me. And I love Eddie Bravo. I give him a platform to talk about whatever he wants because I think he has the right to say whatever he wants. I know flat earth is a crazy thing. But you know what, to me, when I go to people, I go, your politicians are fucking children for power, the same power. They look at me like I'm a flat earther. It's the same thing. So I'm just going to say it. My life does not change on a flat earth or a round globe. Then that's what I think it is. I think it's a globe. But I'll tell you, I think that because I've done no research into it. So it's not an issue for me that I get so mad at people. All are welcome, dude. I just watch for bullshitters. All are welcome. I don't want this to be like, hey, come to our community, be a part of our community, but you got to say the right sound bites. And I get what you guys are saying.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying you have to say exactly what I believe or, be some echo chamber for me. I'm just saying come on, man. We just have to be mindful of the content we put out for very, very specific reasons. And on this show, I know, and I'm not talking about you, Sam, and I'm not talking about Eddie. We have had people on this show who were not exactly who they said they were, in my humble opinion. And, as our show grows, I don't want it to be some platform. So, in my opinion, Eddie's different, dude. Eddie is
passionate.
He's very passionate, but dude, he was one of the first ones I heard talking about Laurel Canyon. And just Eddie is a smart, very deep thinking motherfucker. I'm not talking about generally people who are on to just spread some horseshit agenda.
Well, here's my idea. When we have the convention, Sam, down in Vegas.
Yeah, we're working on it. We're gonna get it working on it. I have people interested.
We'll call it the Real News Convention or whatever. But I think we put up big signs everywhere inside the convention, that say, which one of us or which one of you is CIA.
Who's the spook?
And then send all leads to, and then give like an email address, right? Shit. And just the only reason I want to do that is to watch how everybody looks at each other.
Who's the spook?
Because there's going to be a bunch of people there that are on the THC, and they'll be a little paranoid.
I can't believe I know somebody who still does this with weed, by the way. And someone still does bunny ears with weed. I love it. Guys, Grimerica, any thoughts?
I just think we're living in, I agree with what you guys are saying about being careful with that. And it's getting more and more difficult because we live in the times where I think there's always been fake news back from ancient Rome and all that. There's always been propaganda and allusions to the plebs and all that. But now it's at a different level completely. Now you've got Soros and stuff giving $18 billion to 300 organizations and people, the money going into the fake news. Like it is so, there's so much influence through fake NGOs and fake charities. Like you can't, decipher it all.
Think about the timing of Soros's dumping of that many billions of dollars at one time. It was right around the time that President Trump signed the executive order, basically allowing the U.S. government
human rights. You can seize
assets of anyone who is found to be committing any treasonous acts against the United States, crimes against humanity, children, human trafficking, pedophilia. All of it was under that umbrella, man. And all of a sudden, boom. What was it? 17 billion?
Yeah, 18 billion, I think I heard. And I'm pretty sure that's true. I heard it corroborated from a couple sources.
It's true.
So then, are you still? So do you still think that does put Trump as a possible, a good guy, and that it's just taking longer to roll out than we think, and there's more corruption than we think?
There's so much corruption, dude.
Differently on that, Jeff thinks he's just another gangster.
He is a gangster.
But I honestly think he's a billionaire who's proven everything he can in business and conquered the world and said, you know what, I'm going to leave a legacy and kick the shit out of the corrupt and be wearing a cape. Dude, look at his ego. How does that guy want to go down in history? Does he want to go down as a scumbag, or does he want to go down as a dude who destroyed so many powerful, corrupt individuals? Dude, that's the kind of guy I think he wants to be. I really think that's the memory he wants to leave, because I've seen nothing besides the continued bombing in Yemen and a few other things, which we're not actually conducting the bombing. We're supplying some gas. We're supplying a few things that go boom, boom, obviously. But a lot of things, I've got good contacts. Right away when Trump got in, I said, did Trump stop the funding of ISIS and al-Nusra and that whole program? And he said, yes. The day he got in, that stopped.
So you think he's playing both sides in a way then?
No, he loves, look, make no mistake, dude, Donald Trump loves Israel. There is no mistake about that. But he also won't cross the line, dude. He's not giving them a green light to blow the shit out of Syria. And he's not funding the friggin' terrorists anymore. There was money sent to the White Hats that we still are confused by, right? But I don't see indicators telling me that he's a bad, evil human being. I just don't. And anybody that can, simply because he said locker room talk and everything else, that's a bit judgmental.
Can I just step in real quick? My opinion on Trump is that there is some business as usual with him, because that's how you stay in that office. But I also believe that there's a part of me that is hoping that this is what he has to do to get to where he's got to go, meaning he's got to pacify certain groups of people and to keep that in their mind, the gravy train going while he takes care of a couple things. Now, the taking down of social media groups, the taking down of the intelligence agency, the taking down of the mainstream media, those are real signs that this is not all business as usual. That is very different stuff, okay? I think he has to continue the military-industrial complex in order to get other things done. So now you kind of kneecap the CIA and the FBI. That's one thing. Then you can move on to, he's talking Federal Reserve and getting back on the gold standard. You can't go after all of it at once or else they'll conspire all together. If everyone thinks what they're doing is fine and he's worrying about other people, I think that's a longer game to get done. I do believe these midterms are huge. I think these midterms, he needs to win these midterms in order to keep this plan going, and that I think within 3 weeks, big heads, you're going to see fireworks. You're going to see somebody big arrested or multiple arrests coming, and that's my opinion.
Well, I think
or false flags.
If
or
Q
both.
is legit, then the hammer has to drop literally from today until the midterms. You have the nomination of this Supreme Court justice supposedly in jeopardy. You have literally, like you said, with the midterms, so many possible ramifications with that.
They've already said they'd try to impeach Trump if they got control of the House. And they sit there and go, if you want a civil war, by all means, go ahead and give that one a shot, because you're really gonna screw it, because he's done nothing illegal. They've got nothing. 2 years of investigating him almost, they've got nothing.
But strategically, geostrategically, or whatever, politically strategically, if he's going to drop the hammer, it has to be in the next couple of weeks to really skew or to really influence this midterms that are coming up.
I don't know. I think, to look at it from that angle, and I'm not necessarily saying that I do, but to look at it from that angle, then you have to look at all the Trump as Hitler and Nazi talk as being preemptive fucking fodder for just this situation.
Yeah.
Because if fucking Trump starts arresting heads of states or senators or people who are running against him or anything like that, it's going to look real Hitlerish real quick to an audience that's already primed for it.
Q, since he became president, that's why Q has been disseminating information. It's been a slow bleed.
Or all of these congressmen.
When you see people like Weinstein falling, the Nixium sex cult, all this stuff is conditioning the American people to what is eventually building up to. Look, man, if we went from zero, no arrests, Harvey Weinstein not getting the perp walk and everything else, and the many others, Matt Lauer going down to just name after name after name. If it went from never having that to Hillary Clinton suddenly arrested and Barack Obama and this one, people are going to lose it. There's been some conditioning going on.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Dude, I know it sounds crazy, but and who knows what kind of, how smart they are, or how they just plant stuff, like that guy saying McCain was put to death, and everybody's looking at military tributes. You
get a lot smarter once you're in control of military intelligence.
And I do think that's what's going on here. I do believe that Trump is backed by military intelligence, and that is why he's able to do things that other presidents haven't, who have tried.
Who else do I need to destroy everyone I want to destroy?
So that would put it back at the same. Fuck the no agenda guys were calling this before Trump even started talking about running for president, that there was an internal struggle between the military industrial complex and the intelligence agencies. And Adam Curry and John Dvorak were talking about that fucking like 4 years ago. And all of a sudden you're rolling into this situation that's really starting to look like that's exactly what's going on.
I don't think, hold on. I don't think it is the military industrial complex. I honestly believe it's the military, and that there's a separation between those two, and that the selling of arms, that is to placate the military industrial complex, that the actual military itself is tired of fighting banker wars and sending our sons and daughters.
That's what I mean by when I say the military itself is on Trump's side.
Yes.
The generals or whoever, somebody high up in the military has decided that, they've had enough of what the CIA is doing.
Think of it as all the generals and the admirals and everybody, guys who have been real soldiers and sailors, guys who have done the deed, who have seen the loss of life, are looking at the suits going, you're not selling freaking weapons. to these people anymore because we're the ones that have to go over and fight them eventually, and we're losing our people. We're done, man. We're done with the bullshit.
Per that, and in that same vein, I've said to you, Sam, and I've said to Pat, a lot of this, the crux of a lot of this is Syria right now. Why are we still funding white helmets, et cetera, et cetera? Syria almost has to go down, whether it's the Western version of their pipeline or, Sam, your awesome episode with about One Belt, One Road. China, that's a huge part of what China's trying to do. Syria is absolutely huge as far as geostrategically from the Western kind of, whatever standpoint of the architects, the Illuminati, whomever, and then you have, China, which really needs Syria as well as other lands in that area. So, I mean, it's always
kind of sucks to have the hottest piece of property on the block at this current time.
And that block happens to be Asia, the largest continent in the world.
They want to build a couple of freeways and shit through your backyard, and they're not exactly giving you fair market value.
No, and actually, you're being shot at and told to leave.
And again, Sam, kudos to you with that One Belt, One Road episode, man. And I just recently read not too long ago. It's called it's basically a string of pearls is what it's called, throughout certain areas in the Indian Ocean and the Pacific Ocean. China just got a huge port in Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka was borrowing a shit ton of money from China, couldn't pay it back. So China got this port for absolutely nothing. And that is a part of this string of pearls. So they're going to have these different maritime routes as well as rail and road routes through Asia and all of that. And they're basically going to put military bases on these different.
That's a badass plan. It's scary.
Yeah. That's another one,
Well, the big thing about
that
China.
No Agenda was on fucking years ago. They were calling Syria before it even happened. They're like, you watch. They want to build a pipeline through this motherfucker. And sure enough, it's unbelievable. And they don't even come as far down the rabbit hole as we do,
Here we are arguing about, the shit we're arguing about. You know what I mean? Grabbing pussy, Supreme Court justice doing shit 35 years ago. This madness that, relationships are ending, gang. You know what I mean? Marriages are ending because of the polarization of this political talk while we try to have these larger chess conversations while the world seems to be ran by fucking, checker players, dude. It's frustrating.
No, it's very interesting. And it's like, if you look at China, I think, there's always this battle between China and the United States. If they ever went at it, who would win? And I always say we would because we have more ingenuity. We think outside the box. China literally has no original thoughts. They literally have copied every single thing we've done. That's how they do it. That's a big reason why they wanted to do the TPP is because they needed new countries to do free markets with because they were tired of bringing their factories over to China and China just ripping off all their ideas and their brands and their trademarks. And what is China's doing right now? One road, one belt, one road is just copying the international banker deep state playbook, which is lend people money, get them hooked on your nipple, put bases all over the place, and they're doing the exact same thing.
What One Belt, One Road and the Silk Road that it's modeled off of from back in the days of Marco Polo existed well before the United States.
No, I get it. But what's going on right now is definitely a copying of what we're doing. They're following our playbook. And what's really super sad is that we are the ones who've made this possible. We have got, with us going in, building factories there, basically taking communist China and turning into their version of capitalism. We've allowed them to start becoming a player in the game. And now it's going to come. We've created a monster, and we're going to have to deal with it at some point.
I think that India and China have the chance of going to war before we ever go to war with China. They've already had some skirmishes, obviously, over the years. So they both have nuclear weapons. I don't know. Maybe.
Well, and Chinese announcement again.
And water problems.
The Chinese announcement of the Petro Yuan, which is rivaling the U.S. petrodollar as we speak, is definitely something that's going to come into play more so in the coming months and years.
Have you guys heard of Gordon White? Do you guys know Gordon White? He's been on the
guy I called the CIA show at the beginning of the show.
Yeah, that guy. Just wanted to remind you.
I'm just kidding, Gordon. I love you.
Yeah, Gordon's great, but he had something interesting that the petrodollar isn't important. That they're actually rearranging how the empire is working. They realize going in and setting up bases everywhere is too expensive for them to run right now. And it's actually going to be a different way of operating where they just use the United States market as the leverage instead of military power. Any thoughts on that?
I mean, that's an inevitability. That's why there'll never be any mutually assured destruction, because we're also economically interdependent. That, just like you said, that's what Gordon White said.
But that's thinking logically.
Well, I know, but it makes sense though, because we are so economically interdependent. There's not going to be any huge. There might be some, but any huge scorched earth wars. It's all going to be
what about the true elites that have
strategic special forces hits, and you know what I mean? I'm sorry.
I'm just saying, the true, if we go on the thoughts of the Georgia Guidestones and all these elites and all these things that we hear, almost everybody's going to get wiped out, right? Because they're going to be in New Zealand?
Well, hell, Bill Gates just said some shit about a pathogen or a disease that could take out 10 million people a couple months ago.
Yeah,
I think. Well, they're building a bunch of fucking hotels in Calgary too, so I'm hoping that we're like over the flood line or something.
I have a theory. There's a tunnel to the Denver airport.
Sister city to Denver.
Yeah.
They call us sister cities. So
really,
hopefully we'll escape the destruction.
Really?
Graham and I will be podcasting out of a fucking SUV with an AM antenna on the back. Always on the move, so they can't track us down.
Harry Hard-On from Pump Up the Volume, dude, with his mobile transmission and his Jeep with his hot-ass girl.
Right.
I don't know. So, gentlemen, let me ask you guys. I'm not leading the show, but I've been feeling, man, we're being prepped for something. Like, all of this stuff, Rosenstein, the Mueller, we're so divided on so many different levels. I've said this before, Civil War and that kind of shit doesn't happen overnight. It takes a slow prep to get us engineered to start hating each other. You guys got a feeling that something's coming, or is this just par for the course? We're just another day in the good old planet Earth.
Not only do I think something's coming, I'll tell you where it's going to start.
Where?
It's going to start in fucking Portland, Oregon.
Yeah.
Expand on that, please.
What is it going to be?
I don't know, but I've been to Portland twice in the last 5 years, and the last time I was there, the Antifa presence is fucking strong. I've talked to a couple people around Portland, and I've talked to some other people who told me I was a fucking idiot. But I don't know. There seems to be a sense in Portland that something, it could be where it's going to let loose. And I'm seeing it firsthand. I've never been to another city where I walked around and seen clearly Antifa people, tattooed Antifa with their fucking masks on and their little fucking bats. I've never seen that anyplace else other than fucking Portland.
Here's the thing that from my standpoint is, what could Antifa possibly do?
I don't think they can do much, but I think they can get enough fucking people who don't know enough riled up to get something. And I don't know what it takes. I haven't been around for a civil war in a civilized country. I don't know what it takes. Can it be contained to one city where maybe how close was Dallas when a couple cops get shot? Does it start like that, or does it start as a fucking riot? Or
well, they've got a free ticket. They've got a free card right now on violence. I mean, they're not getting called out on any violence, so they're the perfect people to start.
Being allowed to attack people is a start. And from what I've heard, shops you can't even put an American flag outside of your shop anymore, or you can expect a fucking brick through your window. And, we had people telling us that was far-fetched. And then I see a fucking video on Twitter of some guy getting the shit kicked out of him for having an American flag on his backpack.
Yeah, no, I now that you bring that up, I really need to start putting American flags on everything I wear.
You're trying to goad them.
I want some exercise. I want someone to work out with. It's
or on.
Yeah, we can do that. The Pat Military fighting system anti-foot workout program.
The Antifa pack. Order today.
But in all seriousness, that's
a video of how to fight. Got to put a video of how to fight in.
Well, of course,
right? The outfit. Got to have the bandana with the American flag on it. Something that says "fuck Antifa," and then just do the workout video, 6-week program, and then go out wearing it. Right?
Let me ask you guys something real quick. Can I get a prediction for you guys? The midterms are November 4th or around there. What is your guys' prediction for the next month? What do you think's going to happen? Anything big? UFOs arrive? Somebody big?
A whole lot of sexual assault fucking accusations is what I predict.
More.
Pat Miletich touched me when I was 5.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think it's just going to be open season on fucking perverts.
It would be something like
It already is.
Yeah, hold on. Are you saying that it is? Are you saying more just older white guys getting? Oh, hey, he whipped his dick out in front of me in 8th grade.
Oh yeah. I think coming up to it, I think that people have figured out that the average memory of the American voter is only like a week and a half. So they're gonna wait till like fucking 6 days before, and it's gonna be these guys all are sex offenders.
It is.
The entire last 2 years has been a building. The whole Me Too fucking shit is to try and shut these fuckers down at this election because they're all perverts.
It's a weapon now. It is absolutely a weapon. You know, the guy who just got pinched with the 3D printer gun. I mean, it is a fucking weapon of the state now.
And I'm not belittling the Me Too movement or anything that happened in it. I'm just saying it's been highly fucking weaponized, and look out.
And honestly, I mean, I'm the complete inverse. I honestly respect the true essence of the Me Too movement. No man or woman needs to have their space infringed upon any of that shit. And that's what makes it so fucked up now. Like I was saying in the beginning, this is going to make it harder for legitimate victims to come forward and be really heard because it's being weaponized and almost cheapened like this. Like you said, Pat, like the Crawford woman came out, you knew another one was coming. And what was it? You know, oh, he got drunk and exposed as Peter. Like he's fucking Chester the Molester from Hustler magazine or something.
So I think that what Pat was saying about the 30 people in the room watching CNN, I feel like that's not the case. That it's more like 10 out of 30 now realize it's fake. And I think that it's going to be similar to the election where people are seeing through all this stuff. People are seeing through the weaponization, and it'll be again the silent majority, and it'll come out. It won't matter about the polling or anything. It'll be very similar to what we saw 2 years ago, I think. People are waking up, and they don't want to talk about it yet in public. And I mean, my mom has a hard time with all her friends. She can't even say anything.
Talk about it with our friends.
That goes to the essence of this weaponization. Like, how could you support them? They said,
exactly.
You know what I mean? It just
but see, here's the thing. I mean, you guys are going about it all wrong. I decide who my friends are because I'm going to talk about it. And the ones that I weed out, the ones that I weed out no longer hang out with me. That's what I was intending to do.
Yeah, that's right. Good point.
So let me ask you.
It's more like the work people, the professional relationships.
It's more about that.
Do you
I
guys?
had a guy in an office the other day. He asked me, he said, "When do you think Trump's going to get impeached?" And I was like, "Every fucking U.S. president since Kennedy's a fucking war criminal, and you're asking me when Trump's going to be impeached?"
Exactly.
Nice comeback.
Again, that's that selective butthurst intellectual dishonesty. Russia colluded in our election. We've been fucking rigging elections, assassinating leaders for the last 80 years. Like, where have you been? Not you guys, but, you know, the people who are so mad about collusion. Like, my God, if you only knew the shit we've been doing around this world in our name.
Does any of the conspiracy come true, like meaning that like Hillary might get arrested or a high up that we've had our crosshairs on, the scope on? Like, does Hillary get arrested? Does
those people make deals?
Brennan and Comey and guys like that will go down before Hillary. You know, if
Hillary will get to retire on an island.
You know, I just got to tell you, you know, that like somebody like a Comey or Brennan and the likes, Rosenstein and McCabe, you're seeing Strzok, Page friggin' just dumped on all of them, man. Dumped on all of them. And so, I mean, those are the names that are going to go down along with, you know, obviously Hollywood pedophiles and others. But
Sam Tripoli's.
I think it could go all the way to the top. It could go all the way to the top, but we know we're going to have a civil war if that happens. Right? I think that's just it. Is even if they win, they don't want that to happen, so they'll give those people at the very top a bit of a pass. But if you're Trump and Mattis, you're saying to yourself, look, if there's a civil war, we already know which side's going to win. Like all the veterans and the country boys that hunt and all that sort of stuff. I don't care. Take as many city badasses as you want and put them up against veterans who are special forces guys. You know, old wise people that know how to fight and hunt and kill people and all that sort of. Dude, that civil war does not last but like a week.
No, maybe. I've been looking at what's going on in Europe, and I'm like, here's what's going to happen, dude. It's going to be just history repeating itself. white guys getting pissed off and just have to kick everybody's ass again. I mean, that's really what happened. Like, white men fucking basically set the standard of what is society as we know it. Civilization. I mean, it just really is. The history of time is white Anglo-Saxons have won everything. And what we're seeing is this attempt to reshuffle everything. And I think at some point, people are just going to be like, okay, time to hit the reset button.
Sam,
did you go?
You dirty fucking racist.
Did you just go racist on
I'm
us?
an Indian, you son of a bitch.
I'm just telling you, dude. I'm not being racist. I'm just telling you, bro. It's going to be to a point where there's going to be a
know why
reset.
Ryan left.
Sam the Zionist.
Alexander the Great was not Anglo-Saxon. The Ottomans were not Anglo-Saxon. Empire's point is to expand empire. It's happened for centuries, like you said, but it's never just become.
Well, what I see going on
Genghis
is Europe
Khan.
is not Europe.
Genghis Khan, thank you.
Right?
I'm just right. I'm just to the right of Genghis Khan politically.
Right?
What?
What I'm just telling you right now, I just see disorder, and the white guys are getting the beat down. And I just think it's gonna come to a point where it's like, okay, enough. And like everybody can list who this, or this. At the end of the day, it's just gonna be a reset. I see it coming. I'm not saying it's white guys this or white guys that. I may have spoke like that, but I'm just gonna see a reset back to order where it's like,
What
okay,
could be, what could trigger that reset? This is my little theory. It's a little extreme, but this Trump coming out with the Space Force now is I think he's getting ahead of the ET disclosure UFO issue, because on the other side of the deep state, Clinton and Podesta were supposed to be the ones to bring all this shit out. When she didn't win, they started talking about this program, and the To the Stars Academy came out, and they say, the government has been studying UFOs, and they're sort of trying to push disclosure slightly, but Trump now all of a sudden sends the Space Force out. That's the way to bring everybody together. That's the Trump card. Is either it's a fake alien invasion or some sort of disclosure thing that will bring us all together.
Wait a minute.
Hey, I got to hard out, guys. It's been awesome. We got to do this again, guys.
for sure.
But John, finish up.
Okay, cool. Bye, bud.
Where the fuck these cocksuckers going?
No, one of
I'm
them's
here.
going. Just go on.
You ditched me.
No, real quick. Listen to me.
What do you think of that?
State the premise again. Sorry about that. We got banned.
What's gonna bring us together is some sort of disclosure aspect or some sort of acknowledgement or a fake alien invasion. Something like that will bring humanity together if we divide too much.
Project Bluebeam.
That's a way to the world government.
I was talking to I was talking to some TV network people, friends of mine that I work with, and they started talking about UFOs and all this stuff, and somebody caught a picture into the sun, and it looked like literally a fleet of ships moving away from the sun, just being, and I don't know if you guys saw that.
Yeah.
But I was talking to them, and I go, there's some funky stuff going on. It was right around when the observatory was shut down, and some photographer caught that picture, and I was talking to these guys at my network, and they started talking about an attack from aliens, and I go, you guys serious? I go, look at me seriously. And tell me that what you just said, that you truly believe that the earth we live on could be attacked by an alien force. And they both looked at each other and then looked at me and said, 100%, absolutely.
Yeah.
I was like, wow. If you think about it, I'm not doubting that there's life in, what I see. There has to be. It's just too big, too fast. But then when you take it to that whole nother level and think of being attacked, that's pretty intense stuff.
Yeah. I agree. I find that hard to believe as well. I feel like they should be, at a higher level of consciousness. And I mean, I go out and meditate with friends, and we look and we see shit in the sky. Something's out there. But I mean, it's not. I think if it's attacked, it'll be fake. It won't be a real invasion. It'll be something to bring us all together. And I'm not talking about Trump. I'm talking about the other side. If they're losing their track, the false flag alien invasion. If they're losing track of the global government, globalism falls apart. That's their last card. Something's got to happen.
That's Project Bluebeam.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So how do you falsify an attack by an alien force on an American city?
Dude, have you seen those
holograms?
Have you seen those videos of like kids in the gymnasium, and I think it's like 6D or whatever the fuck it is, and the whales coming out of the gym floor and it's splashing into this fabricated ocean. It looks insane, dude.
Yeah, I think we're living in crazy times. I'm not a racist, and I'm not saying white people are going to rule everything. I'm just saying.
Of course you're not.
I'm just saying there's a real push to destabilize, and at some point, people are going to have to push back and get back to things being a little more stable and chaos. And this, I just think there's chaos, and we need to get back to stability. Gentlemen, final thoughts on everybody. Final thoughts. Conspiracy guys, your final thoughts?
The conspiracy guys, you cocksucker motherfucker. Don't even
Conspiracy farm. Conspiracy farm. Sorry. Sorry. The conspiracy farm. What do you guys?
They're good too. They're good too.
Hear me talking with an Irish accent? No, you don't have to avoid.
I love the conspiracy guys. Those conspiracy guys.
Awesome.
Pat?
Gordon Rockford.
Yeah.
Got his name right. No, Conspiracy Farm. Check us out. Thank you so very much, Sam. This has always been awesome. I love you, brother, and you just continue doing your work. I love checking you guys on the road. You guys are smashing it. I think it's that kind of stuff, that kind of ripple effect that's just going to be putting little seeds in people's ears, man. So keep doing what you're doing. And again, I'm waiting for this shit show to unfold. I don't know if we're going to see perk walks. I don't know what the hell's happening, man. I just want to keep having conversations like this.
Are you not entertained?
We are entertained. We are entertained. Final thoughts. Go
ahead, Grimerica.
Yeah, I really appreciate what you guys are doing. I think that you guys are able to approach and you're willing to approach a bunch of topics that are pretty controversial, like, the deep state stuff, the pedo stuff, both you guys. I think that's really important. And I want to, for all our listeners out there, to check you guys out. I feel like it's good coming together with all you guys and having these awesome conversations. We don't have the answers a lot, but we like to ask the questions, really. So.
I would like to think that you up there north of the border are more likely to be harassed at this point in history than us. So you guys are the ones that are sticking your neck out there a little bit.
Right on. Yeah, thanks. It's been a pleasure chatting with you guys.
Well, I love this. Let's do it again down the line. I appreciate everybody. It could have been a giant crazy clusterfuck, but it all worked out awesome. And I really do love both your shows, and I really appreciate that you all let me come and join your fun conversation. And this is important. And hopefully the tribes will all come together, and we'll keep fighting, and hopefully we'll see some stuff happen sooner than later, because at the end of the day, we are more right than we are wrong. And I appreciate you guys. And this has been Royal Rumble 3. And hey, man, I love you guys. We'll see you guys soon.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, awesome. Sam. Love you, man. Check you later, Grimerica.
Bye, guys.
See you guys.